What's up, y'all? So check it out. This is some crazy stuff right here. I'm not even gonna lie. It's been blowing my mind in the past, I don't know, week or two since I've known about this. Chat GPT. It's a computer. It's an AI. It's a bot, program or service, something like that, like a Siri. You know what I mean? You ask Siri something, but just maybe 100 times better than Siri is. But yeah, we're gonna dive into what you could do with Chat GPT, and this is just for anybody who hasn't been introduced to all these AIs and bots and crazy things that they're doing with technology now. If you haven't heard about none of this, then this is for you. There's definitely a lot more people putting information out, that a lot more in-depth information where you could use Chat GPT and all these other services, like I'm saying, all these AIs and bots and the technology that's coming out now. They can show you how to use it more in depth, more technically and all that. But this is just touching on the subject and showing y'all what's up. If you haven't heard about it yet, I think everybody could make use of it, and it's free right now. It's completely free. You just gotta sign up, and yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna show you guys some things I've been playing with, and if it sparks some ideas for you, sweet. You know what I mean? If you benefit from it, think about maybe giving me a subscribe, something like that. Show me some love, and yeah, you know what I mean? Value for value. Anyways, all right, so here we go. We're on the website OpenAI.com. I'll put the link in the description, but just as simple as that, OpenAI.com. It's gonna bring you to this screen. You just want to go up here and click try. So you click that, and it'll bring you to this screen right here, and you can go ahead and start typing anything you have, and the computer will start typing back. You'll see. Let me ask you something simple. Can you help me gather information based on certain questions I have? And there you go. It starts typing to you like it's the homie. Like it's the homie just slapping the keyboard with you. Yes, I can certainly try to help you gather information based on the questions you have. Please go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll do my best to provide useful and accurate information in response. All right, so that's how you get it started. You don't even need. You could just jump straight into a question. You don't even need to do all this. There ain't no activation. Just type whatever you want to type, but I'm just showing you how it plays out. All right, so I'm gonna jump straight into an example, and it's gonna be from my website, which is hosted through Google Sites. If you have a Google account, you can make your own website. Really simple. Got my own domain name, jrod.art, for $6 for a whole year. You know what I mean? Hosted for free on Google. But anyways, I'll make a video on that because it's pretty dope. But yeah, so here on my website, if I click on my about page, and I re-edited it for this video. Before there wasn't these weird gaps and stuff, but I just copied and pasted my old about me, and it, you know what I mean, it gave some weird gaps right here. So pretend the gaps aren't there and it looks nicer. This is what my about me page looked like, and basically, welcome to my website, my professional background, and me going on and on, blah blah blah, and then my values, blah blah blah. And this wasn't here. I'll talk about that in a second, but it was just basically all this text. Boom. This was my about me page. And so I wanted to use Chat GPT to see if it could refine my about me page and make it just more readable, condense it, and just take out some nonsense that I put in there, because sometimes I tend to ramble when I'm typing and talking. I'm probably doing it now, but anyways, we'll go back to Chat GPT, and I already have the site over here, and I put it under social media and marketing, and we can see right here, the following in quotes is what I wrote for my about me page from my website. Could you please rewrite this so it's presentable for my brand? And I just copied and pasted what I showed you on my about me page, and like y'all saw, I started typing it all out right here, and it gave me this whole little response. And I could copy this and just put it straight into my website, but you want to proofread it, make sure it's good. There might be a little, a couple mistakes here and there, some small things, or a sentence that you want to slightly change up for your own self. You know what I mean? Your character, your personality. Just give it your own personal touch, because you don't want to just straight copy it from the computer and that's just who you are. You know what I mean? You're not a bot. You want to put some of your personality into it. So I'll show you guys. I took this, copied, and put it into my website, and I'll show y'all right now. All right, and now we're at the updated about me page, and you can check it out. My camera might be blocking a little bit, but yeah, you can see it's a lot more condensed. It's probably a lot more readable. It's not someone's not gonna go to this page and be like, oh, I'm not gonna read all that, compared to my last page where it just a whole brick of text, and yeah, you know what I mean, it just was a mess. So this made it look nicer for me, and I did add a little bit more to it just to, you know, because it was a little small. So like I said, you add your own personal touch to it. Boom. And I added a little something else at the end just to give it some more, you know, not make it so small, give it a little bit more size to it, so it's not just a tiny little tab on my website. That's how I use this right here. And so it reads, welcome to my website. My name is Jason Altoona, aka J Raw, and I'm a music creator and producer with over 10 years of experience in the hip hop game. I first became interested in music production as a young child, wondering how all the sounds on the radio were made and how I could learn to do the same. Despite initial challenges, I persevered and dedicated myself to learning and refining my skills over the years. As a result, I have produced hundreds of instrumentals, released 3 home studio albums, and even had the opportunity to perform live with my music group, the Neighborhood Fellows. Represent. As a professional, I value authenticity, genuineness, and honesty, both in my work and in the interactions with others. I believe in the power of hard work and creativity to drive success and prioritize staying grounded and true to myself. So yeah, that's what it gave me, and I added a bit more, like I said, just to plump up the page and make it look a little bit nicer. So that's just one example right there, how I use it for my website. You could use it for your website. You could use it for social marketing, social media, anything like that. And so, you know, other little ideas, say you're a parent or something like that. You have nieces, nephews, you know, younger ones, little ones, and you're trying to think of something cool you could do. Something I was thinking of, it might be too late for Christmas now, but short stories for kids or something like that. Or, you know what I mean? Like I said, you have your own kids and you want to create stories that have, you know, that contain, you know, morals that you want to pass down and good values to you and life lessons and stuff like that. You can ask it, hey, here, I'll type something out. Can you write me a short story, a bedtime story for kids? I want the story to be about Hippity the Hoppity Rabbit, Hippity the Hoppity Rabbit, who loves to listen to boom bap music made by a mysterious music maker named J-Ra. Make the story suspenseful and leave the ending open-ended, up for interpretation. Alright, boom. So that's what I wrote. Let's see what it gives me. Sure, here's a bedtime story about Hippity Hoppity the Rabbit. Oh my, I can't talk. Sure, here's a bedtime story about Hippity the Hoppity Rabbit and the mysterious music maker J-Ra. Hippity the Hoppity Rabbit loved nothing more than to hop and bounce to the beat of his favorite music. His all-time favorite artist was a mysterious music maker named J-Ra, who made the most amazing boom bap beats that Hippity had ever heard. Listen to the background music. Every day, Hippity would put on his headphones and listen to J-Ra's music as he hopped and bounced through the forest. It made him feel so alive and full of energy. One day, Hippity decided that he had to meet J-Ra in person and thank him for making such amazing music, so he set off on a journey to find him. As he hopped through the forest, Hippity encountered all sorts of obstacles and challenges, but he didn't let that stop him. He was determined to find J-Ra and thank him for the joy his music has brought him. Finally, after many days of hopping and bouncing, Hippity came to a clearing in the forest, and there, sitting on a tree stump, was J-Ra. Hippity was so excited that he could hardly contain himself. He ran up to J-Ra and gave him a hug, thanking him for all the wonderful music he had made. J-Ra smiled and hugged Hippity back, thanking him for being such a big fan. Then he invited Hippity to stay and listen to some new music he had been working on. Hippity couldn't believe his luck. He spent the whole day listening to J-Ra's new music, and it was even better than the stuff he had heard before. As the sun began to set, Hippity knew it was time to head back home, but he knew that he would always cherish the memories of his amazing day with J-Ra, the mysterious music maker. As Hippity hopped off into the sunset, he couldn't help but wonder what other adventures lay ahead for him and his beloved J-Ra. the end. Hey yo, that's dope. That's really dope. And speaking of hopping off in the sunset, y'all seen I didn't type sunset into the creating of the story, but I just uploaded a playlist called Digital Sunset. Coincidence? Go check it out. But yeah, anyways, there you go. We got a whole short story about, Hippity the Hoppity Rabbit and the mysterious J-Raw. Just like that. And you know what I mean? You take pieces of it and edit it, put stuff in, rearrange it, play with it a little bit. Don't just take it exactly for how it is, even though it's amazing, you know what I mean? Put some more of your own little touch into it and your personality. And yeah, you could go read this to your kid at night. You could, make little books, digital books, maybe online books, online ebooks. I don't know what they're called on Amazon or something. Is that even a thing? But yeah, I mean, there's things you could do with this that people who are innovative and stuff like that, and thinking of cool things to do. This is gonna help you out. But yeah, so that's just another side little idea, short stories, fun little creative stories like this. And there's other things you could do with this. Like here, I'll show y'all. Can you rewrite this in a more funky 90s hip hop way? And let's see if it could recreate it into a more funky 90s hip hop way. Sure, here's a rewrite of the bedtime story with the funky 90s hip hop twist. And I'll only read just like a couple sentences. I'm not gonna read the whole thing again. But here it is. Hippity the Hoppity Rabbit was a funky bunny who loved nothing more than to get down to some fresh boom bap beats. His all-time favorite artist was a mysterious music maker named J-Raw, who was known for dropping the sickest tracks in the land. Alright, so yeah, if y'all want to pause it and see what else is typing up right here, go ahead. But if not, just pop up your own browser and go play with it yourself. There's a lot of fun things you can do. You can get lost into this. I don't even know where this video is going. It's just me talking about this bot and just playing with the different ideas and things you could do. But yeah, let me see. Maybe let me show y'all one more thing. This is insane. This is insane. If anybody who knows programming or coding or this is a straight hack. All right, so check it out. Coding and programming. That's what I have this tab called. And so I asked it, are you able to write code for me to build apps with? And it said, yes, I can certainly provide guidance on how to write code and build apps. There are many programming languages, frameworks, and tools available for building apps, and the choices, blah, 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 blah. And, it tells you so on and so forth. You get the idea. So, all right, now I got an idea in my head. Code. I have no clue how to write code. I had, just zero knowledge on it. But let me just ask it to write something. Can you create a code for me that allows me to build an app on my computer? I want this app to be a music sampler / drum machine, sort of like an MPC 2000 XL. So we'll type that in and we'll see. Sure, I can certainly help you get started with building a music sampler or drum machine app on your computer. Here are some general steps you can follow to build such an app. So it kind of told me that in the first message, but I wanted to give me the code itself. So can you write the code for me for a basic digital sampler / drum machine to get started? And so I can't answer it until it's done talking, but you can see it's giving you a lot of information on how to go about it, and it tells you at the end, I hope these steps give you a good starting point for building your music sampler, blah blah blah. But I want it to give me a code, so I'm gonna ask it, can you write the code for me? Just a basic digital sampler drum machine. I'd be happy to provide an example of code that we can use. And so here we go. It's starting to create code. And like I said, I don't know anything about coding or programming. I don't know what app it's writing this in, or like even if that's the right way to phrase what it's doing. I don't know, but it's writing something. You know what I mean? And so YouTube is gonna be your best friend. You can even ask this: how do I? And I just did. How do I get started on coding, and it's going to give you information on apps and stuff you could download on getting started for coding. But you got YouTube, a lot of tutorials on basic little apps and things you can start. But yeah, look, it spit out a whole code, and you could copy this code up here, click copy code, and it gives you some directions and stuff right here. Method to load new sample, initialize. I don't know, but just by looking at this stuff, it's pretty simple. It gives it to you. Just some a couple hours worth of research and studying. I'm sure you could get started on your own little apps and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's insane. This thing actually could create programs and apps and codes and all that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I don't know. And just one last thing to end it, you can see the few different tabs I have right here. Just think of some creative things yourself, or how you can apply this to your personal life and your brand and your business or your everyday life, and use it. You know what I mean? You could benefit from this. And just one last thing I did just for fun was I wanted to see if it could give me, because I train mixed martial arts, MMA, Muay Thai, and I wanted to see if it could give me certain counters in fighting scenarios. You know what I mean? So I asked him, in an MMA fighting scenario, if my opponent throws a right cross while he's in orthodox stance, what's my best counter strike? And at first it kind of started slow, said slip the punch, just like basic things, but it didn't really match the stances I gave it. And then I said, what counter punch would you suggest to be the most effective in this situation? Blah, blah, blah. Just started to ask him more questions, and little by little, it's starting to understand it and give me some actual valid responses from it. Uppercut, a left hook. If your opponent is throwing a right cross, you could also try to counter with the left hook. This punch could be thrown in good, blah, 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 blah. And then, I'm just asking more questions. What if I'm standing in southpaw and my opponent is in orthodox? If you're standing in southpaw, blah, blah, blah. And it's you're conversating, and it's fun to play around with, get creative with it, see the limits of what you could pull out of this AI, this bot, this service, whatever you want to call it. It's free for right now. It's in beta version. It's in the beta form, whatever you want to call it. But I can't imagine this being free for too long. You know what I mean? So there you have it. I just wanted to make this video because it seems like everybody's doing videos on all this AI technology coming out and all that. So wanted to just put my little flip on it for anybody who maybe watches this channel who's never heard about it. So there you go. Some crazy stuff, crazy technology coming out. There's all sorts of stuff, technology for like AIs building music. There's technology for them designing some insane looking visual art. There's a lot of crazy stuff coming out for technology right now. So anyways, I don't know, I feel like I just been talking a whole bunch of nonsense, blah blah. So I'm gonna end it. Peace, y'all. It's all love, nothing but, and always is, unless it isn't. All right, y'all.
Bang bang boogie, say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie the beat. I said hip hop, a hippie to the hip hop, you don't stop, rock it to the bang bang boogie, say up.